somewhere else they can break things that aren't mine. Hello. Welcome. I was worried you weren't coming to this meeting, that you have all the information.
I was gonna say, I had all of the,
are you
agenda
coming?
items.
Alex and Cassie were the first two to respond to my email. Just
I know.
You give brownie points.
It's okay.
Stars on your forehead.
Efficient.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I missed my opportunity. Oh, thank you for coming.
yeah,
Thought you'd never make it.
everybody. Well, thank you for meeting today. I know I had a family thing that was going on Monday, so I was trying to get out of it and couldn't get there. So I appreciate you changing the date. Because really the major thing we want to talk about was try to get this particular part moving forward after the conversation. So I think we just need to call the meeting to order. Can I have a...
Just call it to order.
Oh, got it, thank you.
Yeah.
You want to do a roll call, Miss Karen?
Roll call. Neva.
That's me.
I'm here too.
Good job.
Alexander.
Here.
Cassandra.
Here.
Conley.
Here.
Debbie.
Here.
Cheryl.
Here.
Kristen.
Here.
Perfect, okay. Now we actually need is the motion to approve the agenda though. We do need that.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Alexander motions to approve it. Anybody got a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Who was that? Cheryl?
Yes, it was Cheryl.
Approved?
Yes. The only thing on our agenda is the discussion about play by design. So I'm going to give it to Kathy.
Oh gosh, alright. Well, where do we wanna start with that, I guess?
I think just with the conversation of, with the phone call discussion that you and Karen had with them, and kind of the process a little bit and what that looks like.
Sure, I was gonna say how to do it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And I've got the next one.
I took notes, but Cassie answered, she had asked 99% of the questions. So.
I
Which is helpful.
very confidently answered 99% of questions. Alright, so I can just go over our meeting. We discussed kind of a general timeline for what we had previously discussed, which was to have them come out hopefully in November, which we need to pick a couple of days to send to them to give them choices. But we need to do that sooner rather than later. I know there's a city council meeting tomorrow, and I'm not sure where we are on having to go through city council.
We don't. So
We don't at all.
don't have to have that cost approved. That's something that Matt can do because of the amount
Okay.
that can be approved by him. So that I'm not as concerned about.
And are we waiting on city council approval for us to utilize them, or did we not have to do that either?
We don't have to have them do that because this is a sole source
Okay.
thing. So they're the only ones who do this
Specific
type
thing.
of thing.
Okay.
So if it was like, I think the example that the best one to help me understand was like if it was like a concrete slab and 20 people could make that exact same concrete slab, then
We
yes,
have to put-
we have to
okay.
go through all the process because this
Have
is
you
a
presented
specific.
it to the council?
No.
Is that not something we're supposed to do?
Well, right now we're not doing anything other than getting the rest of the information, have them come out do the design, so we can actually present that design to them, and then that will have what the exact cost and all that, because we won't have an exact cost. All we have right now is an estimate. So the next step for them before we can present it to council is to have this person come out, do the design, get the actual amounts, and then show them the design, show them the amounts, the timeline, all that, for them to approve it.
Do we have to submit 3 bids though?
No, that's what I'm saying right now. So they are a sole provider of what we're wanting them to get. So this would be like if we were wanting an art piece and we want a specific art piece, we could go to that artist and say, I want this exact piece because you're the only one who can create it, and then we're hiring them for that. So it's not something that is able to be copy and pasted. Lots of people can do this thing. This is the only people that do this exact type of playground with the design and all of that. So
Well,
it's not.
Okay, so, but they are providing a service that several people can do.
No, this is an exact specific thing that only they do, this type of playground.
But they're providing playground equipment.
They're providing playground equipment, yes, but not the specific reason that we are purchasing from them is because it's this exact type of playground that we want.
That's
It's just
not
the
why
design.
I don't understand that.
Do you wanna clarify?
Sure, it's kind of like buying a vehicle, like let's take for instance, our public works just purchased a Chevy truck, okay? There's multiple dealerships that can bid on a Chevy truck, okay, so we put it out for that's not a sole source. What you're dealing with here is somebody who manufactures a specific product that you as a board has decided that you want, okay? You're correct, there's other playground vendors, but they don't sell the same type of playground equipment, so this is a sole source vendor, okay? You can't take the play-by-design equipment and put it out to bid to other vendors, because they simply don't provide it. So you can only get it from them. So it's what we call a sole source vendor, okay? Does that make sense?
It's, the equipment will be customized for us.
Right.
And so
Right.
we can't
Yeah.
just, nobody else does that.
Well, sure they do. There's gotta be other playground
Yeah.
equipment places that
Not
customize.
this, not this exact thing, that's what we're saying. So this is they're gonna create us an exact design that we want, and that's what we're purchasing from them. That
Yeah,
exact design.
Oh, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, I just, to me, that just,
Well, I just think it's, I guess I'm just trying to be
Yeah,
above board
that's
with
fine
everything,
if-
but
if that's the way it is, it sounds a little odd.
in the fact that,
Well, if
Okay.
you could, let's say this, let's put it this way, so
Is
like
there
if we were building another city hall, and somebody could build that exact same city hall, right? 20 people could build that exact same city hall. But
No.
that's not the same thing with this, right? We would have to bid that out,
Yeah.
because you could just give them the plans, anybody could come and build that.
That's a good example. If we were building a prefabricated building
Mhm.
for the city, and 10 different people could go to this supplier and buy this prefabricated building to build a new city hall or a new city shop, we would put it out to bid, because multiple contractors could buy that kit and they could come out here and set it up, and really what you're looking at is who's gonna give us the best value for labor or delivery or whatever it may be. But if we go to a custom builder who custom builds, does a design build, for instance, there's very few companies that do design build, so that would be an example of a sole source vendor, somebody who does a specific design type build for us, something specific that nobody else does, and that's what you're dealing with here.
I know that if I'm gonna go, if I got $10 million, I'm gonna go build, what, $10 million? At work, I'm gonna go build something at a building at work, I have to have 3 bids.
Because
Okay.
multiple contractors can do
Yes.
that, right, build to your spec, right?
If we were purchasing this from.
And it
from
may
them-
be, and if I wanted something that was, even if I was wanting something very specific.
Right.
I'd still have to have 3 bids, doesn't matter.
But if other people can make that exact same specific thing, if 3 companies can make that specific thing that you want, then yes, you would have to. If I could find 3 companies that would make this exact design that we want, that they're going to create for us.
Well, I don't even know if
Yes.
it would, I don't even know. I mean,
What do you mean?
I might not even have the design made yet. I'd still have to have 3 bids.
If you had 3 companies who could make that exact design, yes, we don't have that. We don't have 3 companies who can make the exact design that we're creating, this product.
I just can't imagine there's not another
I don't even
company
know
in
that
the
you would know
US
that.
that,
I think
Is
with
it
the
because-
research that I've done and all that too, so,
Is it,
I mean.
is it because you feel like we're breaking a rule if we don't have 3 bids? Like, is that why we're concerned about it, or is it because you want 2 other options over, like?
no, I
potentially-
like what this looks like.
Oh,
This
so
is,
you
this
feel
is
like
what
we're
I,
just not following the rules, is that what you're concerned
yes,
about?
because, we're supposed to have 3 bids, I just want everything to be above board and like,
Right, well, this,
Yeah.
but the city manager is sitting right there and he's
I
telling you that, so
understand,
that's what I'm saying, so he's the one, if this is not above board, it would fall back on him, right?
but I
He
just
told
don't
us.
understand why we think that there's not another company in the US. that
Because
doesn't-
we've looked, and this is the thing, right, we're not the first person in this area to have used this company to build, too. So,
Mhm.
like when Augusta did as well, there was no other people that had to bid on that.
I don't know, I'm just.
That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm telling you,
Okay.
and this specific thing that's happening right now, there's nobody else who's going to make this exact thing that we're wanting. When they come and they create this design, there's nobody else who's going to come here and design this playground from scratch the way that they're going to do it, that can provide that exact same.
And when we
In
previously.
addition, provide the service that they're
Right.
providing, come on
It's
site.
Coming out
visit
here,
community,
doing the design
all of that
process,
stuff.
how we're wanting people to have impact and build into that. as opposed to like the cookie cutter version where there'd be 20 people who could create what we have out here right now.
Well, previously when we had discussed this, you had said
Right.
that you would take 3 bids before the board and you would, or before the
Correct.
council,
Yeah.
and go, this is our preferred
Right, and then
design, and we haven't done that.
we haven't, because the conversation that Matt and I had about the specificity of this and what it looked like meant that that wasn't necessary to do anymore, and that was information that I got after that. So that's what we're saying is it's not a requirement to have to do at all because of the type of service that they are providing for us.
I hear what you're saying, but inside I'm going, this seems a little shady.
Well, and here's the thing, you can keep feeling like it's shady,
Explain
but
how
the
it's
feeling
shady.
doesn't make it a fact. So the fact is
Well,
that our
and
city,
I appreciate that, but the thing says
But I
that
need
we're
you to-
supposed to
I
have
need
3
you to-
bids.
right, or something
Well,
like that, but here's the thing, here's what I
The city
need
has
you
a
to hear.
purchasing policy that
Right.
says, normally, we would require 3 bids. However, there are exceptions to that. Purchasing co-ops, sole source vendors, there are other exceptions to that purchasing policy. So there's nothing shady, there's nothing being done behind closed doors. It is by policy the way we're going about this.
Because we're doing it this way, then are we opening ourselves up for excess expense? Because they don't have to compete and bid against somebody?
You can always
They
say
could
no.
always, I mean, if we get the money back and we say, this is way too much, we can't do this, then we can say no. However, here's what I'm going to say. From my interactions with the people who are running this company, from the interaction with people in Augusta, from the 2 other cities that I've talked to on the East Coast that have worked with them as well, nothing about them says I'm here to take all of your money. Because they're doing everything they can to help you fundraise, they're doing everything they can to talk to you through costs. They're saying, you know what, we're gonna create the design, and then you're gonna come to us and say, how much do you wanna spend? And then we're gonna curate that around the amount of money that you have. And that's kind of the stuff we talked a little bit more with like Cassie, what that looks like. But I think my issue with this is that we need to quit looking at the negative side of it and thinking, okay, what are we, you know, are they trying to?
That's negative, that's just how.
I think it would have been nice to know this information that you know. None of us know that.
What information?
That's what we're here to talk about right now.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
like that's what we're having that conversation.
So
So
you had said previously, we need to.
correct.
go
And
before
just
the
like any other
council.
time that you get new information, like right now, like that's why we're having this conversation. One of the reasons we wanted to have this exact meeting to go through all this information, right? Because that wasn't necessary anymore. So, and now we're providing you that information and saying that we have had this discussion. It's something you can pull up on the city website. It's all of these things. It's saying that this is the process, right, that has been approved. It's what's acceptable, all of that. So as far as that's concerned, that is taken care of. And I apologize that that's not something I relate to because my thought process was we were going to discuss that today. Okay.
I don't know.
Didn't know that, sorry.
No, it's okay. And it's just I need you to feel comfortable with it and not in a way of that process isn't our decision to decide how that happens. We have to go by the counsel that we're given, either through Karen or through him of this is the rules and we're adhering to those rules. And he told us that was the rule. And if he's telling me that's the rule, then I'm saying, okay, great, and that's coming back on him. So if he doesn't follow the rule, that's coming back on him.
And at the end of the day, you come up with a plan, you get the prices together, you bring it back to the city council, and the city council says, maybe
Yay
we
or
want
nay.
3 bids.
Right.
Maybe we want 3 bids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our checks and balance system
Sure.
of this whole thing. So you're just gathering the information, making a recommendation to the city council, and ultimately, it's up to the city council. Do we want more bids? Do we want you to go a different direction, or do we like what you presented us, and let's move forward? So, you know.
Just the advisory
there-
capacity of who we are.
Yeah, there's
right? That's the
There's
hard
a
part for us.
system of checks and balances that we still have to go through for all of this.
And I don't know if it helps, but I don't think, we're not gonna get like 6 months into this and then tell the city council about it. I mean, we're talking about the design day next month, so they'll have the numbers in front of them, hopefully for one of their November meetings.
So try to get it as quick as we can, because the steps are a little bit more difficult, which is why I wanted us to have all this whole conversation, this whole meeting, so that everybody can hear every single step, because there are a lot of things that play into this. That isn't just about the money and all that too. There's a lot that's gonna be required of us and our community and the school and all of those things. So I want us to hear all of it so that we can say, because you could get to the end of this and go, this is too much, we don't wanna do this at all. And that's totally something that's feasible, that could happen tonight. But one of the reasons why we wanted to make sure we didn't keep waiting till next month, that we didn't skip the meetings, I want everybody to have as much information as possible, and that's gonna be part of it. And the conversation that Cassie's gonna have, like, as far as their expectations of us and all the things that we're gonna need. And that could also be something that city council can go, that sounds like a lot of work from you guys, and we're not gonna do that, too. So our job is just to get as much information as possible. I apologize, like I said, I didn't think about sending that out ahead of time, and I should have, so I'll try to make sure that that's something, if I have new information that comes in, I'll try to send that out. And that way you all have a chance to kind of sit with it as well. And I'll try to do a better job of doing that, too.
Yeah, cause you have to understand the last thing that we knew
Mhm.
was that we had to have 3 bids.
Right. Yep, no, absolutely.
So when we come in here and we're hearing this,
Yeah.
that's a total, whoa, wait a minute, hold on a second.
Sure, I get that.
Okay.
Like I said, I mean, I'll do everything that I can to make sure that as I get more information, I'll just keep passing it on
Yeah,
as well.
thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I know we've got I think maybe the first part is to talk about the design date and what that looks like, and then we can talk about what it needs, the rest at that point.
So design day is the day when they come to Wichita. They,
Is it one person? Or
it will be 1 or 2 people. They will determine that, I guess. Probably based on the dates that we give them and their availability. Our designer is named Lisa. She's very nice. She was in Japan when we had our phone call on Tuesday. She called in at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
in the morning from Japan to talk to us.
Thanks, guys.
And she was nice, which I
They
would not
were.
be at 3 a.m.
Oh, she was at 3 a.m., not
Oh,
us.
good for her.
Yeah.
You know, it was 3 a.m. for her, and she
Wow.
got on the phone call. So we talked to her. She's from Iowa. So what will happen is that they will come here typically for 2 days, give or take.
Yeah.
And they want to obviously meet with us in the way, and I'm not sure.
when you say us,
So, yeah, give me 1 second. So, the way that they do everything is they design committees, and then they have everything done by committee, and the way that they recommend it is it doesn't specifically have to be us, has to be the committee. Like, they recommend using people who are not your park board, but, you know, having people doing the different committee jobs, which is in the packet that I had Matt print for you guys. And there's different jobs, the person in charge of PR, someone in charge of fundraising, someone in charge of volunteers, there's like 8 jobs. So, and that doesn't have to just be the 8 of us, we can get people from the community to fill those positions as well, like we
And
had
they want us to.
that gal that came who talked about that she has like fundraising and grant writing experience. We might want to approach her and see if she wants to run the fundraising part of it, which is a big job. But so they would do it that way. So what they would do is they would come and meet with the heads of each of the committees that we already have established to kind of discuss your role, discuss what we need to do moving forward. I have a really big document that I'm going to send out to everyone. It's like 80 pages long, so I did not have Matt print that out. I read the whole thing for you guys, though. Don't worry.
Wow.
And it breaks down, like, essentially, it breaks down what each position's job is very fully, and like what you need to do at each part of the process as well. So it's super useful. They've really done all the work here. But so they come in, they meet with them, they obviously see the site, they kind of get their measurements and do a site survey and what else needs. And then they do their design stuff. They like to meet with local kids, which usually means going into the local elementary school for them. I've already reached out to Chisholm to see if they would be open to that, and the principal said, yeah, let's do it. And put me in contact with the gal who schedules all their stuff. So I just have to let them know when they're coming essentially, and then they'll let us come in, and the designers will go meet with the local kids. And we have a form they sent us to have the kids draw their idea of what they think the park should be. But they'll go in and they talk to them and they say, okay, what do you guys want from a park? And in the past they've used the designs that the kids have done to structure how they do the playhouses, or doing the artwork, or just different things that the kids have designed, and they integrate that into the playground in any way that they can, which I think is really cool. So they will go to the school and do that.
is Chisholm the elementary?
Chisholm is the elementary school that is districted for Kechi. I think there are some other things that we can do that we can discuss a little bit later to include kids who may not be going to Chisholm specifically, because I would like to include local homeschooled kids or local kids who are going to other schools, obviously. But that's something we can talk about in a little bit. But anyway, so they'll go in and meet with them. They will talk to any locals who want to talk to them. Like we can put a thing out and say we're gonna be here at the room that's over here, community room, from this time to this time. If you want to come talk about the park and you want to have input into the park, this is where we'll be. Come talk to us, and they will talk to anybody in the community who wants to talk to us. And then they will, because we already have the initial design, all they're gonna mostly do is edit that. They're gonna go in and make changes to where that we say we want change, because they would like our input on that as well. And then what they get back, feedback from the community. And then we have a giant party, or as big a party as we can manage. And the entire community, Kechi, whoever we want to invite can come. Because that's one of the things that we talked about, was that it's not just Kechi kids that go to Chisholm, but it's not just Kechi kids who are going to play on this playground. So if we want to invite Park City and Bel Air and whoever else wants to come, I think we should, because I think that is also a good way to get volunteers to build the park.
Yeah, that and the fundraising aspect.
And the
There's other
yeah.
companies that live there that we want to start
Yes.
integrating into what we're doing.
Yeah, so they said they've done different parties. People have done like carnival themes where they have face painting and games. They've had people just do like a big dinner and people can come bring food. And so they just come up with stuff and throw a party, and then they'll come out at the end of the party. They will unveil the design to the entire community and say, "This is what we're gonna do."
And this is when they're here.
This is when they're here, hopefully. In
That's a
November.
lot to go on in 2 days.
Yes. Yeah, it is busy. But then it goes on from there where they'll work with us for the fundraising and all of that. So I think that's the gist of Design Day.
My dates are much shorter than that.
I have talked to so many people. But yeah.
So it'd be like a Friday and a Saturday?
So she didn't say specifically. She said what worked for us, obviously.
She said a lot of times they come during the week though, because they're gonna go to the school.
Yeah.
So it has to be during a weekday.
I mean, my thought was like a Thursday, Friday, so you can do like the design night on like the party on a Friday, but then the kids are obviously in school Thursday and Friday. But I mean, we just need to give them a couple of options so that they can look at flight options. We need to talk to the city council member who has the Airbnb and see if she has availability to donate days, because she's
Or anybody else that wants to donate a hotel room.
yes, yeah. So, because any of the costs associated with the design day that we can get donated, we can. Like they don't have to stay in a specific hotel. If we have like an Airbnb locally, which we have 2, I believe, we can ask to get those donated and utilize that as well.
Or at least to have a discount.
Yeah, so they
They'll also
do,
need a car, right?
Yes, they'll need a car, and the hotel, and then obviously flights, or maybe flights, because Lisa said she probably would drive.
Yeah.
But if they're flying anybody else, so. Yeah, and they sent a breakdown. That's also not my last name anymore, that's my maiden name. Anyway,
that's what's on the email.
it is what's on my email. Emails are hard to change. Anyway, any questions?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they did email a quote. I think I
Yep.
attached that to your email, so you can see what their I don't think there was anything in here that was weird, excessive or weird. I will tell you, flights are very expensive. I'm flying to New Hampshire in 2 weeks, and did I say?
I said, do you stay home?
I do stay home. It feels like all the time. When you
Yeah.
work from home, it feels like you're home all the time.
I mean, I feel that at home with my kids, so.
It was the $1,500 for the design project management. The car rental was about $190. The hotel estimate was $350. They do get a per diem amount, which is about $300, and then the flight estimate was about $800. So it's a little over $3,100 altogether. But again, there's stuff that we can get donated. Even if we went to the hotel in Park City and said, "Hey, can you give us, discount or whatever on hotel.
Buy one, get one free.
Exactly. Because the other thing is, those people have to come back and be here for longer too during the actual build. So a lot of them will come back. We'll have other things we could do, but that could also be part of the sponsorship, right? Of saying, okay, great, some things I need you to do. So that stuff we'll talk about here a little bit further as well. But to give you a good idea, actually the cost would be about $31.40 is what their estimate was here. So
For one person.
that's for both people.
I think it's two.
I think
both
it's
people.
two.
Yeah.
Lisa,
So it could be less
I
if
don't
you
think
only have
Mary's
one.
coming, but Lisa might have someone else with her. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
So that's
But I
probably
can
the
put-
top of the cost for us.
Yeah.
To give you an idea for that one. That should be in that email too. So.
what else do you wanna know? I mean,
I think that, so at least for this portion,
Yep.
some of the things to think about, so when they're talking about like the committees and stuff, that is stuff that's gonna require, like I said, more from our community, more from us specifically as well, to just be leaders. My recommendation would be, while it doesn't have to mean that we're the leaders in those committees, I would recommend that we try to help one of us on one of those, like just being a part of it to help guide.
Not necessarily headed up, but
Well,
just.
no, absolutely, just
but
be a part of it, right, just to be able to have, that way if there's questions or there's whatever, or we're showing some drive in that aspect as well. But you can kind of see in the bigger things there, the different types of committees that they had. Another thing is, the reason they kind of have it down so well is they've done this so many times in so many different communities for so long.
So the
That
committee
they've kind
outline
of
is
seen
on the seventh
seventh
page of the play by design, what you need to know.
So they've kind of seen it, and it looked like, from the lady that I was basic messaging in the New England one that just finished,
Oh,
this summer, she said, you know, we were really scared because we are a small community and we were replacing a loved park. And so people were really against us even changing the park in the first place. And so she was like, we didn't think people were gonna come out and even help us build. And yeah, she was like, I'm really worried about this. But she said, I had a lot of trepidation prior to that. And then after having had them come in and help and even be like, look, we've seen this happen, we've seen that happen. Like, the nice thing is their experience will help kind of guide a lot of that as things come up. They've seen most everything. What's that Allstate commercial, or what is it? We cover a lot of things, so we've seen a lot of things. That's kind of what she said in short. She was like, every time I had a question, they had an answer. Like that they, or something weird came up, they were like, oh yeah, that happened before. Here's how we figured that out. And she said that the fundraising aspect of it from them was priceless, because they had really great ways of making small amounts for people to be able to do, and large amounts that companies could do, and grant ideas and stuff like that. And then she had sent me a list of grant stuff that she had done for research that she had sent me, so I have that in my email that we can share with people as well. But you can kind of see the different committees specifically of what each one is looking at. The ones that are probably, and I think our goal is to have these, to send this out as quick as we can to everybody, be like, hey, here's what we're gonna be looking at. I don't know how much information we will be able to share as part of like the design system. I think we're gonna have to be just very specific with the community that this is what we're hoping to do. I'll do my best to gather some more links of some other parks, like the Augusta Park, some other ones that are around our area, to give them to be able to kind of look at. I did ask Matt, did you ever find out, are we able to get a Facebook page specifically for the park?
You know, I didn't follow up on that, but I'll figure it out.
They did really
I'm sure
recommend
we
that,
will.
and the
Social media
gal who
was
headed
a
up,
huge, portion
I'm
of
the
sure.
gal who
If
headed
we
up the
can-
Augusta one said as well.
And if we could do that, then we could put some signs in the park,
Yep.
that as people are in the park, that says,
Mhm.
hey, go to this,
Yes.
here's a QR.
Yeah,
and
because we've got
see
that,
what's
there's
going on.
the signs that we were trying to get are general signs about the park stuff. So that as we have the stuff, we can change out the information, and start putting those up too.
Cause I think a lot of people, like for me, I might look occasionally on the Kechi
Right.
Facebook page, but not every day.
Sure.
And important stuff seems to sometimes get pushed down.
Oh, yeah.
So people may not be aware of what's going on. I just think if we put some signs out there, that might be helpful.
Absolutely.
And then having one that's specific just to park stuff, so that there's not a lot of other things that are gonna get stuck, a lot of other white noise that can happen. We can link it with an Instagram, all the things, because again, we have a lot of different ages of people, to be able to do that, which would be nice. But I think that's kind of our, and that's not even a
You
joke,
wanna make
because having
I don't
somebody
have
watch
to.
us do this from the beginning could actually be a big thing, because you could, get a lot more traction that way, because it is a place that some people who are marketing differently is something that they're looking at. So that's an aspect of something we have to think about as well, that it's not, and no offense to anybody, but I look at my Facebook, never. I don't post on my Facebook ever. And it's just not a place that I go to. So there's other forms of communication, like you're saying with the signs and all that too, that we're gonna have to put out there. I think for sure, like I said, getting a good idea of what information we want to release to the community right now is probably one of my things for tonight. I'd like to have a good idea. And then if there was a committee, they're like, hey, I really want to be on this one or be a part of this one, if we can decide that tonight, just kind of having a chance to look over them. Or if you have suggestions of people we should reach out to about those, because you all know different people in our community that have, resources and things like that maybe I don't know and probably don't know. So there's nothing that we can't specifically go out and say, hey, you, come talk to me about this. I'd like you to be a part of this as well. Because there's even there's food care coordinator, there's child care coordinator. A lot of it, like some of our public works people can help us with the tools and things like that. But we want to try to have these people in place prior to the design day.
So the ones that they specifically said we need in place prior to design day is the general coordinator,
Right.
because that's the person who is overarching, making sure everything's getting done, and communicating with both the city and Play Eye Design. We need a volunteer coordinator in place, a fundraising coordinator, and a PR coordinator. And that doesn't mean we need the whole committee. Like, you don't need to have 3 people dealing and getting volunteers. We just need to have whoever's going to head that up.
Mhm.
And I will also say they did say that those are fairly heavy lifting positions. So we don't want people who are going to say, yeah, okay, I'll do the volunteers, but the volunteers are a vital part of the process.
Yes.
So we need to make sure whoever is in charge of that is willing to put in the effort and the time and communicate and just be.
Well, they've got those really good job descriptions. That's
Yes.
kind of how I was thinking of it. It's literally like a job description. It's like, here's all the stuff, and then here's how you do it, which helps because then you feel like you have a better idea of what you're taking on.
Yeah, and if anyone is thinking, I might be interested in this, I have the longer descriptions if you would like to look at them right now too.
Oh, because you got it.
I have it printed out in front of me.
Yeah.
I printed
You
my
printed
80-page book.
pages.
To be fair, I didn't know it was 80 pages when I started printing. My printer ran out of paper twice.
One of the things I might recommend too, to be honest, for me, just my feelings after reading through all of that too, is my recommendation would be at least the general coordinator be somebody from our group.
I would agree with that.
And mainly because that person's gonna have the most to do and the most conversations that you'll have to have with the city and everything else at that time.
So this says get approvals and local permits, that wouldn't be an issue since it's the city that's doing it,
Yeah, I
correct?
don't know. that
Right, the
permit's
permit,
there.
I don't think it's supposed to be, but you have to be the one who pushes that forward, right? You have to be the one, that general contractor is gonna be responsible for submitting that stuff, making sure it's going okay, asking the questions, relaying that information back and forth, as well. So that's something that, I think if it ends up not being someone from us, then we need to find somebody that we know is that person who understands that, has that background or whatever, and that's gonna be willing to take on those, that increased workload.
They did say the general contractor as well, or general coordinator could be 2 people. It
Yes.
doesn't have to specifically be 1 person.
Yeah.
And they said there are a couple positions that they said it's not a bad idea to have 2 people in charge of that, like the volunteers as well. So
Fundraising and PR too is,
yeah,
with fundraising.
fundraising is interesting. It's interesting the different feedbacks I've gotten on that from talking to different people about how they've handled fundraising for projects like this, because some of them have just done a lot of grassroots and done it all that way. Augusta did no grassroots. They did everything through grants. They raised probably less than
10%?
they raised about 10% of their $470,000 they raised through grassroots fundraising. They did everything else through grants. So
Let's do that.
That makes it a lot easier.
Christy gave me a lot of stuff, so whoever takes over fundraising, have I got a lot of information
Right?
for me.
Same. I started just putting stuff in a folder, made it easier. Do you want to take 5 5 minutes and just kind of peruse through these if you hadn't had a chance to look at them yet? And think, is there anyone that you're like, hey, I'd like to, you know, kind of be in this one? Or is there anybody you can think of that we should talk to for any of these that come to mind when you look at even just like the title or the short description?
What was that girl's name who came? Was her name Katie?
Katie,
Katie.
You looking at it? Nope, that's
it's in
I
there.
follow her on Instagram.
It is your
Follow her, but I don't, I put it in my Instagram.
stack one more. Katie or.
Katie
Or,
Orr.
that's right.
Or,
Mhm.
Which one were you thinking about?
for fundraising.
Oh,
Did
yeah, 'cause she was
specifically
saying,
say, yeah, that she was
Grant
interested in
writing.
it, so.
Mhm.
I would assume based on what she said, even if she's not interested in heading that entirely,
Be
she would
on it.
probably be willing to help.
Her and her husband are both teachers, so they're really good at
Yeah.
engagement.
What about food coordinator?
It's not one we have to worry about necessarily
Yeah.
right this minute.
I'm just thinking like in general.
We
like
always
this.
worry about food.
Well, food is important.
That's how you get
yes.
people here. But also the food coordinator might be important to have too if we're gonna do the party. That's be another thing. Again, like the volunteer coordinator, that one's gonna be big because they're gonna have to constantly be getting people in.
Yeah, I think that might be a good one to have two people in charge of.
Oh,
as
for sure.
well.
I would for sure.
So they're saying it would take 5 to 6 days to
To do the build, yeah.
put it up.
It depends on the size of the park.
Yeah.
Augustus took 10.
Yeah.
But theirs is.
Do they just do it like from 8 to 5, or could people
Mhm.
help after work?
It is during the, they,
I do it
it's
during
on
the
something,
workday.
it's usually, it's on the workday, but they do it over weekends as well.
Mhm.
So, I
And-
know,
Some of the stuff that they did, especially the reason I was talking to the 2 people in New England because they did theirs in the same timeline that we would be doing ours in, where there was a lot of winter time. And potential for different weather and stuff as well, and they did some of their build inside, ahead of time, inside of a building, and then brought some of those pieces out afterwards, so they could have people come in and be working when there was inclement weather,
We
as
could
well,
go
so
in the
that's-
evening and work
Yeah,
on it
yeah, so
possibly.
if we wanted to have another coordinator, you didn't have to have a project person there for some of the smaller things, as well.
I was incorrect. So they typically work in 3 shifts per day, which is 8 a.m. to 12, lunch 12:30 to 4:30, dinner, and then 5 to 8:30. So they do it after work shift
So
as well.
when are we thinking we're gonna start this?
Start the actual build,
Mm-hmm.
that is something we probably won't know until after the
Yes.
design and stuff, cause
Well, I'm
once
just
they
thinking
have
the
an idea.
evening, it's gonna be dark.
So the general idea that we had previously discussed, and generally I gave them, was that we had talked about doing it late spring or the beginning of summer before it got too hot here, but after all the cold had gone away.
So like post-March,
Yeah.
prior to July.
Yeah.
Somewhere
And
in
then the
that
evening
spot.
would
Or
work.
like
Yes,
the
because
Yeah,
the
it's
sun
really
is so
good.
warm. Yeah, we doing it in the next fall would be not ideal because it gets dark so early.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Is there any of the committees in particular that any of you all would like to at least be a part of that you see? You're like, hey, I really wanna be on this one?
The only one I feel like I wouldn't totally suck at is the public relations, but I might also suck at that. But
Can you tell me that differently?
Maybe public relations.
I love that for you. Good idea.
Molly, I think you would do great at that.
I won't make it your forever, but that way I have an idea.
Okay, perhaps.
Perhaps. Supervision of children, yes. I will come build you anything if you take my kids.
And that isn't a requirement. If we
Yeah.
decide we don't want to, or we can't offer childcare, it's not something that is required to do. When I spoke to Augusta, Christy said when they built, so they've actually done 2 with Play by Design. Castle Park was built by Play by Design twice, which I did not know.
Yeah.
24 years ago, and then again 3 years ago. When they built it the first time 24 years ago, she was involved with them as well, and she said that time they offered childcare and it was hugely successful. They had like a bunch of volunteers for it. They did it. There's a church right across the road, so childcare was in the church, which people felt comfortable with. This time they did it and they could get no volunteers, and none of the volunteers who signed up, everyone was like, no, I don't want childcare for my children anyway. So it really just depends on whether, so.
Is there anybody who feels strongly pro wanting to be general coordinator? Besides Cassie, who we're just gonna
I would do it.
I know that you would. Or one of two.
I would like someone else to help me if they want to, but. Eva laughs.
Just because I have a new job. It's a little easier.
You have
on
so
my
much
life.
free time now.
That's true.
Did you change jobs?
I did. I'm a para at my kids' school now. So that we can, I can have time to mow my lawn and come home before 6 o'clock at night every night. It's great.
And build a park.
And build a park, which is the most important part of my life right now. It's great. I like building parks. I don't have a problem with that. If
Unless there was something else specifically you were interested in doing.
I'll put my name on. I don't have any other specific. I think likely we'll kind of all end up having little parts of each of everything. I don't think you have to pigeonhole yourself and be like, I'm only going to do this one or whatever. Like, hey, you know what? I had this really cool idea. We can share stuff across. All of that as well.
And I can help Cassie too, so.
Thank you. Oh, we already broke you down. Look at that.
That's
have
it.
all.
Do
You're
it.
actually on all of them.
Yeah. Didn't you know? You're specifically in charge of feet.
Something else to even think about, like civil volunteers and stuff like that. We have a nonprofit, a really large nonprofit group and following in Wichita, and lots of big organizations that do a lot of volunteering and stuff like that too. So, I think that will be one of the fun things of getting the local people and stuff, but also other businesses and stuff coming out. I think, like you said, I think the 1, 2, 3, 4 are the ones that we have to specifically have
Before design
beforehand.
days here.
Yeah.
I would help with the volunteer,
Okay.
but not all by myself.
No. I think and this is just a I'll be on it moment. And I think that once you get everybody in it, then we could say, then within that group, it must be easier. Unless we have somebody specific like, hey, we're gonna go with this person who
And
steps in.
if, someone wants to head it, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't have the type of job that I can just come and go. I'm
Right.
there.
Yeah. You got responsibilities. I got responsibilities. I think, and I got comment on public relations. Anybody else have something they're like, I'll be on, I like to be on this one, or
It's okay if the answer is no.
it's okay if the answer is no. I just don't want to. I don't want to move past it.
Mine back.
No, I wrote it in
You
pen.
are committed.
I might help with the fundraising
Okay.
part, with maybe some of the grant work or something
Oh, I
like that.
love that. Yeah.
I know nothing about that, so.
I do. I'm sure Neva also has some experience with grant work, having working exploration place.
It's
Yes.
true. Well, and nonprofits, most of them are like yes.
Yeah. So I also worked in nonprofits, so I also have some experience with it. So.
Cool.
Constantly asking
got
people for
sort of
money. I have no problem with asking people for
No
money.
change.
None. Give me all your money.
I hated it so much. One of the internships I did to teach us how to do this, they made us go to local businesses and ask for donations. It was like one day a week we had to go out and get donations. It was so awful.
I don't only work for profit, but hey, I'm willing to learn on the
Exactly.
nonprofit side, so.
Yeah. I had to Debbie twice.
Okay.
I don't know.
So how do we want to, what is our avenue for reaching out to the community then? We put stuff on Facebook, but again, not everyone's on Facebook, and the newspaper only comes out once a month.
I think we should have a totally separate
Facebook page.
I
Yeah,
absolutely
Facebook,
think
Social media.
Or Instagram, if we can.
Well, you're looking at the wrong person.
No, not you to make it if we're
No, I
allowed to.
don't know anything
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But do you know if it's okay if we do that?
What do we ask?
sure, as the park board, yeah, I don't see
the
why
arts-
We
not.
can take
Doesn't
pretty
arts
pictures.
start
for it.
Yeah.
Doesn't the fair
No,
board
that's-
have one?
The
Yeah,
fair had its own
organizations. Let me
Facebook
run
page.
let me run that by the city attorney first, because you guys are an appointed board
That's what I was going to say.
by the
Because
city,
it'll
so
be
we
a
need to
technically
make
it's
sure,
official.
yeah.
Well, that's what I didn't know, if technically the play by design committee system was outside of the park board, because then doesn't that mean we can't meet outside of official meetings also?
No, because it's not. They're not to my information. You can correct me if I'm wrong. They're not part of this part. Like they're part of.
Well, no, I meant
Board
not with
itself.
them, but if we are having a meeting and it's you, me, and Conley, are we still allowed to meet about public relations related stuff as the coordinators? Are we allowed to have?
Not as part of the board.
Yeah, but if we're doing it as part of.
If the three of us
the
are on a
design
committee and we're just
process.
having that conversation there, is that an issue?
That's what I didn't know.
I would still say no because you're still part of the board. Let
So
me-
we just would make
let me
sure there's
check.
not three of
Yeah.
us on one committee.
Oh.
Is it
We just
four?
have to form a
Because there's seven of
subcommittee,
you.
right?
Three, four,
Isn't that,
five,
think,
six,
did we
seven.
do that?
Four is a
Like when
quorum.
Us three met?
So it's yeah, because we were a subcommittee.
Yeah.
So four is a quorum, you couldn't have more than three.
Split it
Right,
together.
as I say, so as long as we make sure there's not three of us
So-
on any committee.
You could have, yeah. just
Well, I
have
didn't just
more
mean
than
committee, I
three.
just meant in general about like if we're, like I said, spitballing or PR stuff and we need to sit down
But that's what I'm saying, like, if you're, yeah,
and.
I think anything like that, as long as
We
we
just
stay
need-
under that number.
As long as it's three or less of us. Okay, I just want to make sure we
So
were
three
clear.
of you could meet with the people that are coming,
Yes,
and that would be fun.
just four of us cannot meet together without it being an official meeting. Quorum is a fun word.
Quorum, love it.
Quorum. Okay. Anyway, back to how are we going to reach out to the community to find other people who want to help?
When do the bills go out for water?
I'll have to see on an exact date. I don't know the exact
We
date.
got time,
We have a
What's
little
why-
bit, yeah, we do have some.
Flyers?
maybe two, we might
Start
have.
going door to door if you
a week
want.
and
Is
a half,
that
maybe.
legal anymore? Can you do that?
Go door to
Do
door?
we have to have a permit to go door to door?
We're not selling something.
Yeah.
We're just
As long as you're
handing
not
out,
selling, yeah.
I get my bill around the 20th to the 23rd every month, so we would have time.
Okay.
So
to do
while,
that.
while we're waiting for Matt to find out if, with the attorney, if we are allowed to do Instagram, can we just put something on the Kechi Facebook page to start with?
Yes, that would be my, so I think that, I'm gonna start making a list, so I don't forget. Can we put something on the website?
We can post it on the website, yes.
Cause both, if we could do both, cause what I would maybe like to do, to be honest,
I will tell you, our website gets very little traffic.
well, I wanna push people, one of the things I wanna do is push that, because, well, as a whole, the marketing thing.
Web pages just aren't effective
Correct.
tools anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything's Facebook.
Digital. So I tell,
Yeah, I'm like, no, please, no
It's
Facebook.
difficult.
well, the
Website is
easiest
fine.
explanation I can give you for that is like, web pages are now like libraries, they hold the information. Facebook is like your newspaper, your magazine, right? It's constantly giving you new information, and then it pushes you to the library to get deeper information or, older information, stuff like that. So if you're wanting to keep people current on things, you're using social media for that, but if you're wanting them to dive into more information about it, you're gonna send them back to your website. It's probably the easiest way to kind of see that as far as the pathway. I think, I'm gonna be really honest, I think maybe a couple short videos, or even if it's just some, quick, like, moving things, because people reading all of that is too much. So it's a pretty easy thing for me to design, pretty quickly. And what I would probably just say is, and you all can help me with this too, is we're looking at moving forward with designing our own playground. We want your input, and here's how we need it, so we don't have to be more specific about, like, whatever. This is gonna require help from you all, and here's how you can help. Here's ways that you can help, and start putting that down. So it'll be, talk to your kiddo, come by City Hall and pick up a design sheet if your kiddo doesn't go to Chisholm Trail.
Yep.
Whatever. Put this date on your calendar. Here, you want to be part of our committee. Are you good at this? Are you good at that? Whatever. Just really fast information, and then have something on below for them to go click into to go look at the specifics of what they want. Because the more stuff we put in there, the less likely anybody's going to read it. To be honest.
And on the Facebook page and stuff, it's really easy to make a poll
Mhm.
or,
Yeah, to
just
response.
asking.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Some of those in there.
And we can have an active countdown going on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can even have them, actually volunteer for, if we're looking for that later on, or whatever, volunteer for their lease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do we need to meet again this month, just to kind of go over where we are and what, like, the Facebook stuff's been done, or how it's going, or?
I think our first thing needs to be, we need to pick a day.
Yes.
for them to come out and design. So let's start with that, and that'll give us a better idea, because we meet the very first week
I
of
was gonna say,
November.
our next
So-
meeting is the 3rd, so it's unlikely they're coming before that.
Right. UST is only out for the 13th, is it, right? And then Thanksgiving?
No, Chisholm is closed the 10th and the 11th for Veterans Day.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chisholm is closed the 10th and 11th for Veterans Day, and then for Thursday, Friday for Thanksgiving. I checked their calendar and I checked with them. They also do not have any other special events going on that week. Could not come in.
So you're saying like the 13th and the 14th or the 20th and the 21st would
Yeah,
work?
we might. I think we need to give maybe them 3 options though. So we might have to give them.
Go into December then.
Well, it doesn't have to be Thursday, Friday though. I think I think with the community, we're probably more likely to get people to come out if it's a Friday evening. But
End of November versus December.
Yeah, because December is way too much going on for everybody at that point.
Well, we need to make sure it's far enough away from Thanksgiving that
Yeah.
people aren't.
When is Thanksgiving?
the
27th,
27th.
last Thursday of November.
So like the 13th and 14th or 20th and 21st?
That would be 2 options.
And we want to give them at least one more. So we could even, to be honest, we could look at like a 12th and 13th or 13th and 14th. Because a Thursday night sometimes is a little bit easier.
Yeah.
If USD is out the 10th and the 11th, and kids are coming back to class,
On the 12th.
I don't think they would have a problem with that, though, because they're so close to the Thanksgiving break.
And we can say, like, when I take these dates back to them, I can say we would prefer to do a Thursday and a Friday, but if those don't work for you, we can.
Alternatively, do something
Yes.
different. Does anybody have conflicts or anything that would happen any of those current dates, the 13th, 14th, 20th, 21st, or the, honestly, I would maybe even just say if we did like the 18th and 19th, so it was a Wednesday night, like a midweek thing, would that be easier, do you feel
Tuesday
like,
and
than a
Wednesday?
Thursday? Yeah, if we did like a Tuesday, Wednesday.
And then, so.
Because Thursdays,
August-
don't forget, Thursday can be like basketball.
So these dates are for.
It's high school basketball, sorry.
No, so these dates are for Play by Design person to come
To come here,
and present to the school or
to
talk
meet at
them
the school,
and
yeah.
have the kids draw
Yep.
and things like that.
Mhm.
And then do something in the evening for
On the second day, yeah.
The party?
the party.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and meet with the community that
Yeah.
day.
Most likely, yeah. So yeah, they said because they'll travel the first day, and then usually they try and meet. I just remember this with the coordinators, whoever's in charge of the different areas, the first night that they're here.
I do feel like that would be tricky on a weekday for the party because it would have to be when people are out of work and it would be dark.
Well, we don't have to have it outside. We
Oh.
discussed having it here.
Can we do that?
We'd have to coordinate with
Community
the.
rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to check the community room,
Just
or
if it's available.
Yeah,
or finding another large indoor space. Like it doesn't have to be outside. So
yeah, we could ask one of the churches maybe, or.
yeah, I know the church across the road has a big basement area that
Yeah.
they use for the rummage sale and stuff. So
Okay. And that would help with bad weather as well.
And their turkey dinner is the first, so.
November the 1st.
Yeah.
Somebody likes turkey.
So could we look at then potentially the 18th and 19th or the 20th, 21st? Is that, you feel better about that, or do you feel better about the 12th and 13th or 13th and 14th? You feel better going to a Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday for your midweek one?
I don't know.
It's
I
hard to
don't
tell,
know.
but honestly, we
I
can
don't
tell
know what
always.
is going on in like at Heights or
Yeah, and that's why I say like,
Stuckey.
for winter, I know Thursdays there's sports that they're having, but again, we're gonna have conflicts.
Yeah.
No matter
Somebody's
what.
No
not
matter
gonna
what
be
we do,
able to-
somebody's not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
And there's other things that we can't stream it.
I was just gonna. I was literally
Right?
just gonna. This seems like a
Yep.
really good.
If only we
PR
knew somebody who
way
would
to-
stream things.
We should, anyway.
We should do that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that, well, it's nice to because we can keep
You
that
hear that?
information.
Oh yeah. Why don't we do? You want to head up PR?
I signed you up already. Because I do the same thing, like we could live stream it, but also we'll want to have people with cameras
Yeah.
taking pictures.
Honestly, like that is what I
Because
feel
if
most
you
you want to
can
document
confident
it,
in
right?
helping
Because I
with.
think the more we can document, the more we can get it out there and constantly keep having more information for people to see about what's going on. When everything when I was looking through all the Facebook pages and the posts that they were making and the constant it wasn't like every day, but it was every few days, something went up. But it didn't have to be brand new information, it could just be like, hey, don't, remember when we did this? Or remember when we were excited about this, or, we've got
So
this
take a
coming
ton
up.
of pictures
Yeah,
and then just keep rotating them.
yeah,
You've got my
just schedule
service.
posts, it's fine. And some
Photography.
video and stuff like that. And they did, one of them did this really fun thing where they had the kids and they did the design. They went and interviewed the kids, which we'll just have to double check with the school and who's, okay with media stuff for that. Versus not, and they are really great about that, they can always kind of tell us, but then be able to say, let's hear from the people who are excited about it and keep everybody
We
excited.
can probably go up to the park on a Saturday
Oh, 100%.
when kids are out there playing and
Yeah.
do an interview with them, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Today would've been great, cause there were about 20 or
It was
30
It was
kids.
a
so
good day
nice.
though.
So,
Good
yeah.
day. Okay, so to go back to what we want to put back out, so just so that I can honor your time, I don't want to keep you too terribly long.
Alright.
We'll do a Facebook video post, some things together. So if those are our dates, let's start there, apologies, I'm step back. We wanna do the 13th and 14th and 21st for sure.
Yep.
We need one other set of dates.
I think I would vote the 18th, 19th, just because with Chisholm just coming back into school, I don't wanna screw with
Yeah.
for them if it's too much.
Yeah.
I mean,
I propose 18th or 19th, is that what you
yeah,
said?
so the 13th, 14th, 18th, or 19th, or the 20th or 21st, and I will communicate that we would prefer to do it the Thursday, Friday options,
Yeah.
but here's this alternative as well.
Yep.
So, is that right? Preferred?
Yeah. And then once they come back with which dates work for them, we can then approach, I don't know why I can't remember. This is our city council member who has the Airbnbs, or we can approach the hotels and see if anyone wants to donate to that to try and bring down our costs on the, actually I can check the Airbnbs right now to see if they have availability.
I can tell you on the 13th and 14th, on the calendar, there's nothing in the community room. And then there's nothing on the 18th, 19th, or 20th and 21st at this point.
You have a city council meeting on the 13th.
Well, in the community room,
No, you have a city council meeting on the 13th.
Yeah, so would we wanna have the party on the 13th?
we wouldn't have the party on the 13th though, cause that'd be the
If,
first day they would do it.
for the 13th, 14th, yeah.
Yeah, it would be on the 14th, yeah.
So we wouldn't be doing anything in the evening on the 13th.
We might be having meetings with the coordinators,
Yeah, with the people in
but
charge
that
of
doesn't need to be in here, that could be in there or
It would be anywhere
somewhere
really.
else, yeah.
'Cause it seems like what the tentative timeline would be they would come in, they would go to the school first, they would do that probably afternoon, then they would meet with community members, leaders of the committees, and then the next day they'd be working on design, and then they would have the party that evening. Does that sound right, Cassie?
Yes.
Does that make sense to everybody for that part? Okay. So, the way of getting this out, we can draft basically like a press release, which I can put stuff together
Yeah.
about what we can do, so we can get it in the bill when it goes out, because everybody's gonna look at their bill, right? Does anybody want to reach out to the lamp?
I missed, I'm sorry, we were.
It's okay, no, you're fine. I was just saying that we can see if we can I can get a press release together or information to put in the bill.
Yeah.
That's gonna go out. Does somebody wanna talk to the lamp?
I can reach out to them.
Okay.
If I get in the newspaper though, you guys better believe I'm getting multiple copies, I'm cutting it out, and printing it.
It's fine, it's fine.
Rightly so.
Something I think I wanna put out there too to consider is the name. And I want us to be thinking about that, only because are we gonna leave it that part of the playground, the thought process?
This thought last night too.
Wait, what?
Changing.
So,
the-
not, because
like-
the whole area is the park, right?
Okay.
Everything, the
No, the
pond,
whole
all
park
that
is the
considered
Kechi
the park.
Park.
Whether we want to try to figure out, is there something specific we wanna do, whether it's memorialized or based off of a donation or whatever.
Whoever gives the most money.
I mean, it could be, or it could be something that if there's, community member, because sometimes that also means something, more than a fund, to get people more involved too. So whether that means we wanna memorialize specifically a citizen or something else based off of that, as far as some of that too, because I think that will also lend us to how we're going to talk to people about what the park is, and at least the equipment part of that.
Well, just like when the park was erected the first time, they have that stone that has all the donors and
Yeah.
people.
I think I would like that better than,
Michelle.
Michelle's Park or,
Well, they do have both. So it's a lot of ones that I saw, they have something that they promote too, is to put names on the pickets, because they do the
That is
fencing
one
around
of their
it.
most
That's one of their biggest and
successful
easiest
fundraisers.
ways to raise money. So there definitely is gonna be tons of opportunity for that. My thought process is more for the overall, just like
Yes,
naming.
name.
Like you have like the Castle Park, right?
Yeah.
Or
When
you
somebody
have-
texts their friend and says, "Meet me at this park."
Right. Like you have like LW Clap, we talk about all the time. We're going to
Yeah,
Clap Park, like
yeah.
all that. So the whole area is the whole,
So you're talking
Everything.
about the whole name for the name for the whole area.
Just for the
We're talking about
playground.
renaming if
Just
we
for
want
the
to
playground
specifically
area.
name the playground.
So
Yeah.
it would stay Kechi Park, but then you would
Yes.
rename the playground.
yeah.
Turtle in the sand.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Kechi means, actually.
That was one of it was a fundraising idea that I saw as well, was that they had people submit ideas for the playground names, and then people could vote on it, but they had to donate $2 or whatever.
Oh, $2 per vote.
And they
I
could,
love that.
yes, they paid for the votes.
Pay for everything.
So that was
Put that in your fundraising bucket idea.
So if we are looking at meeting that 13th, 14th, those kinds of things, are we comfortable meeting again in our meeting on the 3rd, or do you feel like you would rather have a more, a sooner meeting than that? To feel more comfortable with where we are as far as like when we find out the dates, things like that?
I think so.
What do you have a preference, I guess, is my.
The biggest thing that we're gonna have to take care of at the next meeting is we have to plan the party. Like, we have to figure out what we're gonna do, and our next meeting is the 3rd, is 10 days going to be enough time to get all the things that we need for it?
Yeah.
And I don't know I'm not sure, but
I think that's cutting it close.
I feel like it might be rough. I don't know.
So realistically, we're in the 8th right now, right? So that leaves us to 3 weeks before the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that the 31st obviously is Halloween, but it doesn't really impact us too much at the end of the week. Do we want to try to meet? Do you feel like the 27th, if we were going to get the 13th, that 3 weeks?
So do you think that you can have a commitment from them on what days?
I
they
think they'll
want?
get back to me by the end of the week.
Yeah, so they were pretty, like, they've got their whole lives.
They know what they're, and Lisa, our designer, I believe we are her first project when she gets back. She is on vacation until the end of this month. She's traveling the world. And I believe we are her first project when she gets back, so she's not gonna have scheduling conflict.
So we could have her decide her dates,
Mhm.
and then we could meet when you've let us know that she's given you her dates, and then we can work on scheduling the party.
Yeah.
Is there homework that we can do in the meantime to make the next meeting be as smooth as possible?
Well, we could be working on ideas for like what we would like to do to draw the community in
About
for
the party
that.
itself.
Yes, for the
For the
party
party.
itself, and also once we have that date, we can start promoting the party as well.
Now, do we have another movie in the park coming up?
There is
Yeah.
one more that is that last, I think it is it Halloween night?
Really?
Or is it the week before?
I don't know, let me go check.
I've got, it's on.
Cause I was gonna
this
say,
page.
we could do something again about this,
Yeah.
this is part of our design, this is what's going on, and we could be
October
push-
17th is the next,
and we could be pushing that out on Facebook.
that's next week.
Yes.
So we would
Oh,
have,
wow.
we would have the info by then.
Right, letting them know.
Oh, absolutely.
These people are coming in, we could be telling them at the movie in the
Yeah.
park, and even
Matt,
if
you
we,
can come back.
even if we just had little
He
pieces
needs
of
a break
paper
from
that we
us.
could walk around and hand out,
Yeah, we can do flyers, we can,
I was not joking. I'm legitimately up for going door to door.
don't
Me
come
and
to my
my
house.
best-
idea.
Yeah,
Everyone's just gonna
exercise,
come ring my doorbell.
nice sunshine day.
The 17th.
October 17th.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I just
Matt.
looked on the
You're so
Facebook page,
useful.
you know, it's fine.
You give us so much help.
So let's look at, would we feel comfortable if we met again? I I mean, if we're gonna put some stuff out on the 17th, we don't have to have specifics about the party and the date and stuff, at least for that. Would we feel best about meeting like the 20th or 21st to give us, so let's say the earliest one we have is what, the
That's
13th?
November.
The
So,
24th,
I apologize, what?
24th.
That's a Friday. I'm looking at October.
Yep.
Yeah, the 24th is
4th. October. I'm looking at the wrong month.
I think so.
For a year.
The 24th on mine says that's a Friday.
Oh,
24th is
yeah.
Friday.
Oops, wrong, yeah.
You're okay.
27th.
The 20, do you feel like, I feel like the 27th might be too late if we're going on the 13th.
I
Because that
would
only gives
agree.
us like a week,
I would say the week before would be.
The 20th?
the week of the 20th, so like the 20th,
And we'll be meeting to kind of,
to get the party information
Plan.
done and all of that, yeah.
So October 20th is our next meeting.
Is this room
As
open that date?
long,
As far as I know.
As long as, say that again?
we do have a session, but as long as it's dark outside, that means I'll be done. with
It
the
will be
session,
dark by
so-
4:30,
Okay.
so.
Do you not see
We
that?
should have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll do
What is
October
time
26th,
October 20th.
November, first week in November.
yeah,
Time
something like
change.
that. And it
It's the
goes
first
back.
Sunday in November.
or should they just do it?
Could we,
They voted, they could.
Is that okay?
I'm hoping, yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe. When does the time change? I
The
literally
first
have-
weekend in
November.
I
November.
have bad,
It's just gonna be really
First
dark really
Sunday
early.
in
okay,
November.
I have bad dreams every year that I like show up to a session and it's already dark and I don't have any sunlight.
November. It'll be in May. Okay, so then homework would be thinking about a couple of things. If anybody has any connections again for the food, because we will need food for that, right? Drinks, we will need drinks for that. Anything else that we want to do while we're there? So what other things we want to do to try to draw people in?
And you're talking, this is for when they're here.
Yes, this is for the reveal party. Let's call it the reveal party.
Okay.
Because if this is the design reveal party, then we might want to have something else that we can either be doing while they're there, not just the design. So what else are we going to do that they either take home with them or as a reminder of something like that as well.
I think if we just have something to hand out at the movie in the park, like little bullet points, you know?
Yeah.
Of,
With the QR code. to
I
go
say, yeah,
to
we'll make a
website.
QR code that'll go to all the stuff that we're putting on the website and everywhere else.
your kid will have an opportunity to help with the design, we're gonna have
Yeah.
a party, you know,
Yep.
all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I did, on that note, because I think I'll also want to put that in the newspaper about the designs for the kids.
Yeah.
It's,
Because we can actually put this somewhere that people can just download it themselves. You don't actually have to have this actual piece of paper, right? I mean, it's just literally saying, draw what you want right here. So you just bring
Yeah.
that piece of paper and just
Yes,
drop it
well,
off.
they don't have
Or
to
take a
do that,
picture
they
and
can take a
email it
picture
to
and
us,
email it.
right? You know, or our social media, you could just tag us, which
Yeah.
I would love for them to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we also, that's the other thing, if anybody wants to come up with a catchy hashtag, do we still use those?
Well, my name gets shut down every time I have an idea, so. Let's hear it.
We'll try it again.
Sorry.
No.
Do you have it in your mind?
No.
I'm keeping it holstered. Okay.
Sounds good.
Fine.
Alright, so, if we can have a couple of things to add on to that, I think, do you want me to send you the things that I am, well, because we want it done by the 17th. I will, as I'm creating things, then I will send it out to everybody to look at, so you can kind of give me an idea if you don't feel like that's, you know, whatever, if
Like
I'm
the
missing
press release
something
and stuff.
or whatever, prior to us putting it on the website or sending it out, other than, because they'll need this by the 22nd, so it'll all be done by then. That way you can help me, or if you think of something, like, please send it, email it, send something over, text me, whatever.
But the most
Individually.
urgent thing would be to have something to hand out
Yes,
at the movie.
yeah, and I'll, but probably
Just
what I'll
send your
likely do
flyer,
is,
so we can
yeah,
use it.
The flyer.
yeah, it's gonna be probably similar to whatever we send with the press release stuff for the, bill to get on there, it'll just be short, sweet,
To the point.
because they don't really do a whole lot, like a sentence or two, on there, so, the first thing is gonna be finding out about the social media thing, so that I can start that, so we can start directing people, that direction.
In regards to this, can we create like an email to have people send the designs to, so they're not going to one of our personal emails?
Or is there a park email?
I don't, let me check.
I think
don't
we
know
talked
how
about that
much
before,
room
that
we
They
that
have
can
was
left
send
on
it
our-
directly to.
I didn't
The
know
city
that
for,
was-
Yeah.
we're only allotted
You said
so
what?
many
They
email
could send it
addresses and
directly
we
to
may
the
be
Facebook
post it.
Yeah, once we get the social
on those.
media.
If we're, yeah.
With their drawings.
Somebody
Yeah, 'cause
mentioned
it'll have a
something about
messenger
that.
attached to it.
So-
As long
Yeah, I
as,
just
as
don't
long
know
as
if
we
we
can
want
find out
people
if
to
we can get it
submit
on
their-
our Facebook page, or
And
you
the
just
same
go to
thing
the
of-
general one, I guess.
Yeah. Even if we did even if we can't have our own Facebook page, even if we did have that hashtag, then we can search that and have people post it on social media that way too, or tag us or
Well,
whatever.
she said they can just post it on Facebook page
But-
if we can't have our own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like,
They
and if they
page.
tag that, then we can just pull that, we can search that tag and we can pull all of them off there.
Hopefully we can just make our own.
I was gonna
Just
say,
make it
hopefully
so
that's-
much easier.
Yes.
Then we can use Connor's beautiful pictures. We can
Okay, so then the other part of the homework would be to please read through the committee outlines so that we can start getting a list of people that we need to start approaching, for those in case we don't get as many volunteers.
I will email you the giant document
Okay.
that
Yes.
is our new Bible.
Yes,
Yes.
as well, because it is huge. Does that feel like, do we feel comfortable where this is at right now? So I'm not talking about like the actual bill or something like that, but where we're at as far as moving towards the design portion of this. Do we feel comfortable with all of that? Yeah? Okay, I just want anybody to feel uneasy about any portion of that, I wanna make sure we got that part covered, as well. And then as soon as we decide or find out about the dates, then we can find out about the cost, and then what do we need to do to submit that to you?
Just shoot me an email or something. Yeah.
With all the stuff on it, okay. And then you could just pay for it. That'll be easier. Okay, does that feel okay? Any other questions about anything else has to do with any of this part?
I don't think so.
You're talking about naming her, is that what you were saying?
Before?
Yeah.
Like
Is that
right
what
now,
you were
or?
talking about? I can't remember.
We're talking about the hashtag.
Oh, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
the hashtag, yeah. If you come up with one, let me know. Okay, sounds good. So I think that we are done. Do we have a motion to, let me make sure I didn't miss anything, hold on.
I think that's the only thing.
That was the only thing on there. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hey, oh, look at that. See, we
There you go.
closed it. Good job. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you all.